bringing it to them all day. You know what's up? Welcome to Birdland. Win or lose, we bringing it to you always. You know what's up? Welcome to Birdland. Orange or black, we rebuild the pack. No matter where we at, you know we coming back. Section 336, we on this, so tune in. You know what's up? Welcome to Birdland. Yeah, welcome to Birdland. You know what's up? Welcome to Birdland. Now, here come the boys from Section 336.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Baltimore sports fans of all ages, welcome to Section 336, Next Generation of Baltimore Sports Talk. I am your endearingly stuttering host, Matt Soroka. As always, I'm joined by the big lump that I just can't get rid of, that we're just stuck with, the button lover, Josh Soroka.
Well, I'm glad you're stuck with me. I'm over here with these cramps and just have a whole bunch of cramps going on today.
I tell you, we got some big lumps, we got some cramps, we got a lot of stuff to talk about here in Birdland.
Yeah, it's been besides, you were talking about the Davis interview that we can discuss from last week, and but I mean, and then we got yesterday's Ravens game, which outside of playoff games might have been the greatest Raven game we've ever watched. Yeah,
that game was insane. I don't have a very good memory. People start pulling out these. I remember 1994 and this, but for I don't remember the last time. Just a freaking roller coaster of emotions ride. I mean, a couple people made the comparison to the Mile High Miracle.
But I've got one.
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
The Super Bowl with the lights going out.
And then making the big comeback.
And yeah, that's the only thing that I can even get close to this.
But that wasn't, yeah.
But it doesn't, it's just the weird, it's nothing like the emotion of seeing Lamar come out of nowhere back, off the toilet, straight to the field.
Yeah, but it did have that same, I think it's a good example because the weirdness of it, right? There's also a weird factor. Well, and with the Ravens, there was this weird factor. And then you had like our secondary, no one was left defensively, like left to play. It was just crazy.
Well, that's kind of been the Ravens' season has been really marred by injuries. So the fact that McSorley is now on the IR after RG3 is on the IR is just
they said
sounds right
was
for the season. Yeah, I heard Snead was warming up. I heard Sam Cook was also warming up
he's
as they tried to figure it out.
Yeah.
I mean, it reminds me of the Super Bowl because just like that Super Bowl, we had the game in control. We had a big lead. And then
something 2 touchdowns, yeah.
Right. And then something bizarre happens. In the Super Bowl, the lights went out. In this game, Lamar had to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And
well, he said no. He's adamant that it was not a Paul Pierce situation. Yeah. He's adamant that it was just cramps.
But have you watched that video of him running back to the locker room?
And there's someone in the way, he shoves him out of the way. You don't shove someone out of the way like that unless you're trying to be tackled by someone and you're stiff arming, or if you run to the bathroom. Those are the only 2 situations where you stiff arm someone like that.
He needs to just accept it, put it on a T-shirt, make a T-shirt of him on the toilet with John Harbaugh banging on the door to get him out there and make some money off it because he took the Browns to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, it was appropriate that this was all done against the Browns, and this adds to the Lamar Jackson legend status. Yeah. So I'm all about it.
Well, and even more, it totally adds to the Lamar Jackson because what we always knock against Lamar is we haven't seen him come back in a big game, lead a game-winning drive in a big game, and he totally did that yesterday. Like that's might be the greatest game of his career as far as not an individual performance, but leading a team.
Yeah, I mean, even the individual performance was great, and people want to say, well, he didn't throw for 300 yards and all this, but like that's because we so want to compare him to other people, right? And he is not like other people, and so his great game is not going to look the same as a Pat Mahomes great game. They're just not going to look the same, but they can be equally as great.
Oh, totally. And I mean, he ran what makes Lamar awesome and what makes Lamar fun to watch is his feet and his legs and his ability to run and juke and just And he showed that off yesterday. He showed it off last week. It's how we won these two big games.
Yeah.
Well, I guess last week wasn't a big game, but it's how we won.
I mean, it's how we won the MVP last year, yeah.
Yeah. That run in yesterday's game where the two defenders are closing in on him and he bends over and jukes between them.
Yeah.
No one else can do that in the NFL but Lamar.
Yeah. It's true. The only thing that could stop Lamar yesterday was the turf. You know, he ran for all those yards, and there was turf monster was getting him all over the place in the first half.
Yeah, and turf monster was getting everyone on the Ravens. Browns seemed to have no problem.
Yeah,
Ravens were falling all over the place. And what's really neat about this Ravens team is that they are one big team. Like the offense and defense cheer on each other. Where we're so used to the offense and defense kind of despising each other in Baltimore and kind of winning despite each other. This is one unit and one team, and you're seeing them all work together and learn from each other. The Humphrey caused 3 fumbles yesterday. Now, the Ravens didn't get any of those over, but what he is doing, you're now seeing all the defenders run and punch. On the offensive side, I've never seen Gus Edwards move and juke like he did yesterday. He ran like he's been learning from Lamar. This team is one team, and that's a pretty special thing. And as much as I've been saying this team is not very good, this team is gelling at the right time. And a game like yesterday, you can build so much momentum off of moving forward.
Yeah. And I mean, Fruit Punch is one of my all-time. He's becoming one of my all-time favorite Ravens. Just the way he's playing, and he's just great on Twitter. But you're right. We rarely have seen it, just as a Raven fans throughout the years, the offense pick up the defense when the defense struggles. We're used to the defense picking up the offense.
Right.
But last night was a complete offense picking up the defense type situation, which we haven't seen a lot of here in Baltimore. And so that was pretty cool to see.
I haven't looked up the stats, but I cannot remember a time where the defense has given up 42 points and the Ravens won.
Oh, 0.
I don't know if it's ever happened. It's got to be. At least it never happened. It's been a while if it has ever happened.
That was a unique score last night, the first time ever.
And how great was the safety at the end to cover and win us some money on my bookie?
Yeah, now I would have pushed because I bought at 3, but you got at 3.5.
I bought at 3 also.
Okay.
So I was a push.
Yeah.
But still, I know lots of people jumped in at 3.5, and that was hilarious.
I jumped in even bigger at +1. I'm a big fan of that now, where if I think the better team is out there and the other team scores in the opening drive, like that's what happened. The Browns scored the opening drive, and then it went to +1, the Ravens.
Oh, did you jump in then?
That's when I jumped in, yeah. So I would have won either, because that's what I've been doing a lot of lately is try and take advantage of that. But yeah, it was that was an insane cover at the end. And
it was hilarious.
It was just, and it almost like fit the mood of that game because it was just an insane game.
Well, and there was no reason for the safety. All they had to do was throw the ball out of bounds or throw it somewhere. There was no reason to give up 2 points there.
Well, yeah, it was like, one of our guys like batted the ball, the lateral, and forced it into the end zone. Yeah.
How nervous were you when that lateral went a little longer than comfort, a little longer than normal? And knowing how weird this game was, I was definitely like, oh, crap, they're going to turn this around. They're going to do this.
Not only that, but I don't know if you saw it. On Saturday at a college football game, there was almost the same exact incident where a team was down by 3, did the lateral, and then they thought it fumbled and they thought the guy was down, so the whole other team ran out into the field while a guy picked the ball back up and ran it for a touchdown, and the team won. So that was also kind of fresh in my mind, that insane college football ending.
Right.
So yeah, but it was fun. It was free. And then I never do this, but I stayed up and watched Sports Center, watched all the interviews.
Oh yeah.
I never do that.
Too.
There's no going to sleep after watching that game.
Right. So you went on Facebook to watch all the player interviews?
Yeah, I went on Twitter, watched the player interviews.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Watched Scott Van Pelt, watched him break it down, all that stuff.
I did the exact same thing and fell asleep. Ended up falling asleep with Sports Center on because of it. Because I had to see Lamar talk after that game.
Oh yeah.
And then you had to just see everyone else talk about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a whole lot of fun. And as much as I felt confident the Ravens were going to win that game, and if Lamar did not run to the locker room, that game was over. The Ravens dominated that game.
I mean, I would argue if the play calling was a little bit better, that we would have the game in hand easily.
Or the refs. There were early in that game. There were some horrible calls by the refs.
There was that drive where it was the roughing the passer call on Judon,
which made no sense.
And then I think it was Jimmy Smith got called for the pass interference. But pass interference
when he went for the ball.
Yeah. So it was like on back-to-back plays or something.
Yeah.
And then if any of those fumbles, there was a bunch of fumbles that the Browns all kind of fell on.
Three. Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
three fumbles that all kind of bounced the right way for him. Baker
Mayfield played better than I thought, but he just kept on picking on that poor Harris kid.
Yeah.
But and he took advantage of. I thought they were well coached because they took advantage of some running back versus linebacker situations with Kareem Hunt.
They're a better Browns team than we're used to.
Yep.
Here in Baltimore.
That's in Baltimore. Yeah, and I always just assume we're going to win by 40 points. So that surprised me a little bit. But that was, I mean, I could do that a wild card game. I could get a.
The Browns are a better team. I think there's a good chance because the Browns are a better team than the Steelers. I think the Browns end up winning the division.
And is that who would the? I guess there's a lot of questions on how the seeding would work.
Oh yeah, we're way too far out to figure out the seeding.
Yeah,
because I mean,
the Chiefs are the 1 seed, but outside of that, it's
right. Chiefs and then the Packers. Those two teams are locked in, but I don't think any other seeds are locked in yet.
Yeah.
And I mean the Ravens. Even the Ravens seeding is going to change because they've got. Now that they got past the Browns, what they got? They got the Jaguars.
Yeah,
with Minshew.
A joke.
They got the Giants, and they've got
the Giants.
The Bengals, right?
Are better, maybe a little better than we thought, but still, they're not a great football team. And then the Bengals are a joke. So
right. Yeah. So I mean that's going to get the Ravens. That should get the Ravens 3 more wins and put the Ravens at 11-5.
Yes,
which is pretty crazy. The strength of the AFC North. Because the Steelers already have 11 wins. The Browns have 9 wins. They're probably going to get to 11 also. The Steelers are going to probably surpass 11. They'll probably get 12 or 13.
Yeah, I mean, you could argue, maybe, the Chiefs are the best team in football.
Right, they got 12 wins.
And then, I don't know, depending on how much of a believer you are in Josh Allen and the Bills.
Right. They've got 10 right now, but they look great.
The next 3 best teams you could say are in our division outside of those 2 teams, right?
Yeah, Steelers, Browns, and Ravens.
Yeah,
yes. I'm not a believer in the Steelers. I think their schedule kind of balanced out well for them, but yeah, it's interesting. So yeah, 11. I'm going to assume. That we win the next 3, we're 11-5, we get into the playoffs.
Yeah.
But when you got the Browns good, and you've got the Dolphins playing well, and you got the Colts playing well, and the Titans playing well.
Oh, yeah, Titans too. I didn't mean to sleep on the Titans. Yeah,
even the Raiders.
Yeah.
The Raiders have a chance.
Struggling lately, but yeah.
So hopefully 11 wins is enough.
Yeah, it is. I mean, the AFC seems to be the superior division this year, or conference this year, and... There are a lot of there's some bad teams like the Bengals and the Jets, and then there's a lot of really good teams.
Yeah. Then on the other side, right down the street, you got the Redskins in first place, or the Washington football team in first place at 6-7.
Yeah, it's been a great story. I haven't seen the latest update. Is Alex Smith? I know he went out of last game. Is he done?
He's projected to play.
Oh, he is. Okay, that's a great story. Good for him.
Yep. So. We jumped into sports really fast there.
I know. I wanted to get into, you know what I'm into now, Josh?
What are you into?
You ever get into this? And this is like the last thing I thought I'd ever get into, but I'm super into it now. Like personality types.
Oh, Enneagrams?
Enneagrams.
You doing the Enneagram?
I'm a type 9. What are you, Josh? Have you done the Enneagram?
I haven't done it yet.
Oh, I'm super into Enneagram.
Hold on. Did you do a real Enneagram or an app?
I read a book.
Okay. All right.
And now I'm listening to podcasts.
All right. Is the Enneagrams a Christian thing?
The book I read was a Christian book, and the podcast I'm listening to is a Christian podcast.
All right. I think Enneagrams is just a Christian thing. I think it's like the 5 love language type. I think it's the new version of the 5 love languages.
But the
I know.
personality types aren't tied to Christian things.
I know it's not, but I don't hear anyone talk about Enneagrams except for in church and church
really?
people. And like I hear pastors and people who work at churches talk about Enneagrams.
Yeah, I heard it from Emily's family. He's all into it.
Yeah. And you're a 9? What's
I'm a
the
9.
main? Are you a 9 leaning 3 or something?
Well, I don't know what my wing is yet. I'm still searching for my wing.
See, there's an app that's supposed to tell you this, but I haven't done it yet.
Yeah, I took a couple. This is like a while ago, like maybe a year ago. I took a couple websites things, and I got conflicted results. So I was like, I don't buy into the nonsense. And then I got the book, or Bethany loaned me the book. So I read the book about it, and like the 9 just spoke to me. And then I started listening to podcasts. I don't care about any of the numbers. I'm just into the 9. But I like it because...
What's up? All right, but a 9's the peace person, right?
Yes. Here's what I like about the 9. All of my bad qualities as a human, I'm starting to realize it's not my fault. It's just the number, right? Because 9s are indecisive, have problem making decisions. 9s don't want to pick sides. 9s are lazy and easily distracted and look for things to distract them, especially when they have things that they need to be doing. All these things are negatives about my life that I thought was just my own problem. But now I realize it's not my problem. I'm just a victim of my number.
Except you're not a peacemaker.
No, it's I can understand both sides of an argument.
All right.
That's what it is. I just choose to understand both sides of the argument and use that in negative ways, not in peacemaking ways. But I could use that to make peace if I wanted to.
Okay, so you're a peacemaker who can understand both sides, so you choose which side you're going to aggravate.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, I mean, it happens in politics all the time, where I totally understand kind of the conservative viewpoint, and I totally get kind of the liberal viewpoint.
Right, but you argue on whichever side, whoever you're talking to.
Yeah, and then I go back and forth. Sometimes I don't even mean to. It just happens. And I don't like conflict. I'm a little more. If I have an issue with someone, I don't come right out and say it. Like all these things, it's not my fault. I'm a 9.
All right, I'll figure out my number for next week.
Okay.
But here's my problem with the Enneagram nerds.
I love it. Yeah, go ahead.
All these Enneagram people are obsessed with Enneagrams.
Yes. There's the whole way they talk.
Yes. But why are you listening to a podcast of Enneagrams if you already know, oh, I'm a 9, I'm this? What are you learning from the podcast besides how to judge other people? And walk around and go, oh, you're a 7. I bet you lean 3.
I'm too egocentric to Josh to even do that. I skip all episodes except for episodes dealing with 9s. So I have no idea about any other number.
But isn't that a 1? Isn't like a 1 like a obsessed on yourself?
I think 1 is like a perfectionist, which is not me at all.
Right. So I thought like 1 would be the guy who only listens to himself.
Yeah. Because I'm still in the self-discovery stage here of this Enneagrams. Right. So I don't know. So I'm sure if I knew what Emily was, like it would help me in that relationship to deal with her. Because this is her being a 3. But
wait. You're obsessed with Enneagrams. You know you're a 9. You don't know what your wife is?
No, she's too enigmatic. I can't figure her out.
So she hasn't done the survey or read the book or anything? She
hasn't read the book. She did some online stuff, and she got different results every time. The online surveys, I think, are bunk. I don't know about the app.
So how do I find
the website is bunk.
So how do I find out my number without spending a week reading a book?
You got to read the book.
Audio book?
I'm sure it is. I got it somewhere. I can tell you the title. I'll text to you. But what I did to start off with is, my wife's family's really into it. I asked them, what do you think I am? And there was much heated debate about what my number was.
Oh, I can understand that.
Yeah, this is like people get passionate about this. And then
and Enneagram people love to judge Enneagram people.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
But that's the great thing about it, though. They're not judging you. They're saying you're not. Oh, he's just a 9. He's just a terrible human because he's just a 9. Like, it's not even my fault. Like, they don't judge me. They just judge my number, which is great.
All right. Let's see.
But anyway, they suggested that I was a 9, so then I started reading up on 9s, and I was like, oh, yeah, that's it.
All right. So, number 1 is the reformer, idealistic, self-controlled, perfectionist.
Yeah, I don't think that's you.
No, 2 is the helper, Karen, generous, people pleaser, possessive. Achiever, individualistic, investigator, loyalist, enthusiast, challenger, and peacemaker are the
Yeah, but
the
Josh,
things.
yeah, but those mean nothing. Like I'm a peacemaker, but I'm not a peacemaker. That's a misnomer right there. So I don't buy those.
This
Can't. It's more complicated than that.
Okay, all right. It's more complicated than just the title. Oh, what animal are you?
I don't know the animals.
Aren't there
That's- I mean that's because I've never been into. I mean, are you talking about astrology or something? Like
I don't know.
I've never been into any of these personality things before. But then I just started reading this book. I was like, oh my gosh! And I thought what I thought with all these personality things was, and we're gonna get to the Orioles because I want to talk about Zach Pop in a second. But I thought all these personality things were so like generic that just because you're egocentric mind, you can make yourself fit into any of these. And that's what I always thought. But then I was reading, I was like, crap, no, I'm definitely not one of those people. I'm a 9.
All right. I'm with you on you being a 9 because I looked up what animal a 9 is. A 9 is a whale. Whales go with the flow. Whales are chill and peaceful. Whales are in tune with their environment and whales around them.
Yeah, and a great source, they get blubber. They're
right. If there's other whales around them, they're totally in tune with them. They're not super speedy and take their time.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, they embody divine serenity. You're a whale 9.
And I was reading about, like, I'm doing my dissertation, and, like, this is not a 9 thing to do, right? This is really ambitious. That'd be some other number. But the only reason I'm doing my dissertation is because my teacher just kind of put me into the program, and I never just got out. So I just kind of went with it because she told me to take this class, so I took it, and then I've never gotten out. Like, I have no big ambitions with my dissertation. It's just like I've just been stuck in this program, so I just kind of go ahead and do it.
All right. All right, so you're 9. Maybe one time we'll transition this at some point, and we'll break down the enneagrams of the baseball players.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'd be helpful to know especially what Chris Davis is. I bet we could label him and Brandon Hyde and Mike Elias. I think we could put some numbers on these babies.
Yeah, totally. But we need to do a little research. You know what we should do? All right, we'll bring in someone who knows even more about enneagrams.
Yes.
Who also knows the Orioles, and we'll bring him in a future episode. We got friends that I'm blanking on the name. Who's the guys from Not Your Mama's Christian Podcast?
I don't know that podcast.
Yeah, you do. They've been part of Birdland Radio and stuff in the past. And I'm blanking on both of them. 2 pastors. I chat with them regularly. All right, but anyway, they, like I said, pastors are really into this Enneagram stuff, so we'll bring one of them in to help us break down later in this off season. But see, I wanted to talk to you about the weather because it's getting really hot down here in Florida again, nice and warm.
It's supposed to snow here tomorrow.
After a cold snap.
Okay.
And that's what I want to talk about. I heard that you guys are getting snow, and I heard you guys are getting snow days even though you go to virtual school. That kids are going to have a snow day. Is that true?
No, I have a good laugh about it because I follow a bunch of teacher Facebook groups, and there's been a large push by teachers to have snow days. Still, even the virtual school. And I'm like, teachers, right now, people are already hating on teachers somehow for the virtual thing. And now you want to still do snow days? Like, chill out. And so it's not a real thing. Like, we don't have snow days. Though, I will say on the Eastern Shore.
No, it is a real thing. I've got it right here in front of me.
It's not in Queen Anne's County. Not in my county. But other schools might be doing it.
All right, Queen Anne's doesn't have it, but Calvert, Charles, Frederick, Howard County, Montgomery County, Prince George's County have all announced that they will still have snow days.
I don't know. Do people not want to get out in the first week of June anymore? Come on, people.
Well, and that was my question was like, wouldn't they just let you get out earlier if you didn't use your snow days?
We have 4 built-in snow days. We don't use them. They go to the we get out 4 days earlier.
All right, so Queen Anne's hasn't announced anything yet. I'm going to be very ashamed if you guys get like 4 inches of snow and get a snow day for virtual school.
I'm getting sick of these teachers. Sick of them.
Well, at least your teachers aren't kind into a strike or anything yet. You're not threatening that, right? Like some of the other districts.
I mean, I don't know what, Josh. I don't know what would happen if we decided to open up tomorrow. I don't know if
Oh, that's true. That's true.
I mean, the
can
only
see
reason
that.
we haven't is because we've been sticking with virtual school. I don't know what would happen if we tried to open up.
Well, what's the lockdowns like in Maryland now? Do you have, like, restaurants and stuff are all completely shut down now in Maryland, right?
I think it's still a county to county thing. So I know in Anne Arundel County they're shut down. In Baltimore City they're shut down. I think in Baltimore County, but I think in Queen Anne's County you can still go to the restaurant.
All right. So so we can still have our Ravens are in the playoffs party in Queen Anne's County.
Yeah, Eastern Shore here.
The Florida of Maryland.
Yeah, we have no respect for government here on the Eastern Shore.
All right. Well, we will plan that and see how that goes. So, anything else besides before we get back into Orioles or back into sports? Anything else going on with you up there?
No, I mean, I recently had a birthday, and I hate my birthday so much.
Why? Why do you hate your birthday?
I hate birthdays, Josh. I hate them so much. They just make me so angry. I just, all day, I just simmer with anger the entire day.
What are you turning, 37?
37. So I'm angry that I'm getting old. So I'm already mad about that.
Yeah.
And then, like, people text me, makes me angry, because then I got to respond back. People Facebook me. Literally, I did not know I was friends with half the people that Facebook messaged me happy birthday. Mm-hmm. Like, what am I supposed to do with that? Dude, I haven't talked to you in literally 20 years.
You know what I did last year? I didn't respond to anyone on Facebook.
I just liked everything.
I don't even think I liked it last year. I just didn't get on Facebook for the day. Yeah. Because it is. The Facebook, if you're not close friends with it, the Facebook is annoying.
It's just so insincere, but it's like they're trying to be nice, but it's taking me off because it makes me realize how disconnected I am with all these so-called friends, that the only time I hear from you is once a year with the happy birthday message, and then I just get angry.
Yeah, it makes me consider defriending people.
That's what I haven't done it ever on Facebook. I need to go through and like clear up my friends list. I do.
Yeah, and I've accepted anyone. So if you're a 336 listener and friended me, I accepted you.
And I have some 336ers who wish me happy birthday, and I sincerely appreciate it.
Right, right. And my birthday's next month, so yeah, I'll appreciate it too. I know it's coming from a good spot, but there's some people who I know who I haven't seen since high school and haven't had a conversation since high school, and they're going to make a comment on it, and I don't really care.
But see, and then
all right, that's why I text you. Because I feel like if someone texts me on my birthday, then we're close enough that you have my phone number and it's something special.
Yeah, I prefer a text over Facebook message, but even the text, I got to respond to it. But I don't get a ton of texts, so it was fine. But I don't even feel like I don't feel the need to acknowledge it. I literally wish there wasn't a birthday and we could just all move on with our lives. Mm-hmm. But the other thing is, all this is mixed up in feelings of guilt. When people also say happy birthday, who I'm like, crap, I should talk to that person more often. And then I feel guilty for not talking to this person more often. And that makes me more angry. And so I just get angrier and angrier. And by the end of the day, I'm just mad until I watch the Ravens crush the Browns. And then I feel happy again.
I definitely texted a few people today because I saw a picture on Instagram today and made me think of them.
Yeah.
So then I went to that next level of texting.
I need to do that more. Yeah.
I don't, and it's why I don't post on Facebook a whole lot. I posted Christmas lights this weekend because I put a bunch of Christmas lights up on my house.
The videos,
to music, so I wanted to show that off.
Absolutely.
But I don't really comment that much on people's stuff on Facebook because what I'll do is I'll see, oh, it's so-and-so's birthday, and if I care about that person, I'll send them a text message instead.
Yeah.
I'm not going to send a Facebook message. I'm going to send a private you and me conversation.
Yeah.
So that's where I stand with Facebook and birthdays.
Yeah. But I'm getting more and more where I have several friends from college, and we message each other quite often on Facebook, who I don't have their phone numbers. We just communicate on the Messenger and Facebook.
Yeah, I've got a few people, I guess, like that. But they're more newer friends down here in where I've made new friends down here in Florida, and like there's a good amount of them that I don't have their phone numbers.
Yeah,
so I just text through Facebook Messenger.
I never exchange phone numbers now with new people I meet. We just do the Messenger on Facebook for the most part.
Yeah, that's a weird one. You're right. I don't know how that works because, like, on my softball team down here, I don't know the phone numbers of anyone on the team. We all just message.
Yeah, it's like a lot of school friends like that, yeah.
So if I need, like, a ride, if I want to ride to the game or go get together for some practice or something, it's all through Messenger.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't know how you make that transition to, hey, can I have your phone number?
What, is there anything that a phone number does that a Facebook message can't?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on how active the other person is on Facebook and Facebook Messenger, I guess.
Yeah.
And yes, you can call and actually speak to someone.
Oh yeah, I forgot that's
the thing. The whole talking, the thing. So yeah. I bet you can probably do that on Facebook Messenger too. But I like, we'd have to see how many text messages. I don't send a ton of text messages. If I delete my text messages for work, then I think most of my text messages are Raven games with you and Dad.
Yeah.
Like, I don't send a ton. So, yeah. I guess Facebook Messenger would work fine for all that.
I was having people over for a bonfire last Friday. And you know what happened? I invited some people out.
And you got the corona?
One person said yes. And, like, we're in a group text. And the other person just, like, called. He didn't text at all. Just called me. A guy my age just called me to talk to me about it.
Yeah. Those guys drive me crazy. I work with a guy like that.
Dude, one text. He's a caller. Yeah.
Yeah. I got a guy that. I got a guy that don't work like that, and it's like sometimes you just want a yes answer or a no answer, or I don't need to speak. Just wanted to pass this info to you. And I got one guy at work. He's like, yeah, I don't text. And I'm like,
yeah, that's how this guy is. What? I think he just doesn't text.
Yeah, you don't text. It's like, well, do you right? But how am I? But if we're talking on the phone,
this guy's my age. He's 36.
Yeah, this guy's a little older than me, but still. Yeah. But yeah, all right. If you're 36 and you're just talking on the phone and you don't text, you're missing. Sure, you can hear the tone of my voice, and you won't misread the tone of a text, but you're not going to get a cool GIF from me.
Yeah.
Or a GIF. You got to be on that text thread for that to get the little baby owls running across.
And this guy had a lame excuse on why he wasn't coming. And it would have been so easy for him to text it, which I thought that was pretty impressive, that he called and explained his lame excuse to me instead of just texting it, which I thought a text is the easy way out on that. So I don't, but whatever. Like good on you for
definitely
for calling with your lame excuse.
Exactly. It's, you know what it is. It's the same reason I hate Facebook events, because it gives you yes, no, maybe, and everyone that presses a maybe is a no. So why put the maybe button there? Or the interested button? It should be yes or no.
Or maybe, what about a probably? You think people would be more likely to go if they put probably?
More than maybe?
More than maybe.
I think it should be. You know what it should be? It should be
because some people don't know until they can't plan ahead.
Exactly. Change the button. Facebook, since you listen to this podcast.
Yeah, and Mark Zuckerberg talking to you, buddy.
Well, they at least spy on everything we do by now. Yeah. So Facebook, here's what you got to do.
They're picking up our code words.
Change the maybe button to interested, remind me in a week. So then in a week, it says, hey, don't forget, Matt's having a party this weekend. Do you want to go? And you can say yes or no. Or you can say, remind me when it gets closer to the event, yes or no. And eventually, on Saturday, before Saturday night, I'm going to say no. Or I'm going to say yes.
But it'd be more likely that message, that invite would be for a clay painting session or something.
Some concert or school play type thing. Right, because if it's a bonfire on a Friday night,
I'm going to text you.
Right, so we can all get COVID. I'm gonna say yes.
Bonfires outside, spread out, are very safe, COVID friendly. COVID friendly, is that the right phrase?
COVID welcome.
I don't want to be friendly to COVID. It's safe environments.
Yeah, it's the Florida way. We do everything outside down here.
Yeah.
And I haven't gotten COVID yet.
Yeah. Well, we're running out of days to do stuff outside over here.
I know. We might need a few bonfires for that wild card game.
Yeah, I can make a pretty big bonfire out here.
This year has us all wanting to be healthier, and that includes our eye health. But how do you get vision coverage if you're retiring? It's actually pretty easy. VSP, the vision coverage many people get through work, offers individual vision plans. Enroll anytime, on any device, and start using your benefits the same day. You don't need to be an employee to get employee-level vision coverage. Visit VSPDirect.com today. That's VSPDirect.com.
I'm Bob Sullivan, the new host of AARP's The Perfect Scam podcast. And with Frank Abagnale and other top fraud experts, we're bringing you brand new episodes of America's most shocking scam stories.
I got an email alerting me to 22 accounts that had been opened up in my name.
Scam was masterfully designed.
New episodes available now. Subscribe to The Perfect Scam podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
All right, let's get to some Orioles stuff.
All right. Where do you want to start? Do you want to start with the fact that the Orioles actually lost someone in the Rule 5 draft?
Yeah, that was unfortunate. We lost Zach Pop, who was picked by the Arizona Diamondbacks and then immediately traded to the Miami Marlins.
Right.
So clearly the Marlins wanted him and worked something out to get him.
I didn't even know you could do that.
Oh, we did it. Didn't we do it last year with Drew Jackson? I thought we did that.
I don't know.
2 years ago with Drew Jackson?
But how's that? All right. So Zach Pop got picked up and then he got traded.
Yeah.
To the Marlins, which what sucks is he has a better chance. The Marlins suck. So there's a better chance of him staying on that roster than the Diamondback roster. So now the Marlins have to keep him or he comes back to Baltimore. Do the Diamondbacks get a say in that also?
No, it always goes back to the original team. I mean, from what I read...
But Zach Pop was on the bubble, so he's an easy guy to hide in your pen.
Well, I mean, people projected him to be a back end of the bullpen guy. Mm-hmm. Throw upper 90s. I mean, I think the Orioles thought he's coming off Tommy John or whatever injury. He didn't pitch at all last year because of COVID, while also rehabbing. So, he wasn't going to start with the major league team again because he's coming off injury. And I think they thought they would just kind of pass through. But he didn't. And I think that was a miscalculation. And some people say, oh, this is a sign that we have a better farm system. And I think there's some truth to that because we protected like 6 guys. But on the other hand, we had 2 open spots on our 40-man that we could have put him on those spots. And we picked up 2 guys in the Rule 5. And I would argue Zach Pop is better than the 2 guys we picked up. So I think that's a situation of a miscalculation by Mike Elias, not a better farm system, though I do think our farm system is better.
Well, this falls in line with some of the stupid comments that Mike Elias made and Chris Davis made and all about this rebuild. And Mike Elias coming out and saying, at some point we'll be ready to win more games. It's not now. This is not fun, or something like that. So Zach Pop is ready to make his debut in 2021. Mike Elias is not ready for a good pitcher to make his debut in 2021. He would rather have these 2 young guys where maybe one of them is ready to make his debut in 2023.
Yeah, I guess so. But I mean, I just think it was a miscalculation. I think he wants Zach Pop. I mean, the other guy that we lost was Gray Fenter, who I think everybody was just surprised that Gray Fenter was taken and by the Cubs, and no one expects him to stay on the Cubs all year. But I'd be surprised if Zach Pop is returned to us. I think that's a pretty significant loss. I think this is one of the first really big misses from Mike Elias. Though again, like Mike Elias apologists have been able to twist this to say this is about the strength of the farm system, ignoring the fact that he had multiple opportunities to protect Zach Pop and just chose not to.
I saw someone post on Twitter that the Manny Machado trade keeps looking better. And I stared at this tweet trying to understand it. How does losing someone that you got in the trade to the Rule 5 draft make the trade better?
Right, because you
can't
lost
figure that one out.
For nothing.
For nothing.
Like maybe if you traded him for some more assets. Now, the Dean Kramer looks good, but the Yusniel Diaz looks worse than when we traded him for. I mean, when we traded him, he was a top 100 prospect. He's no longer a top 100 prospect. And so there's been a little bit of, the fact that Dean Kramer now looks like the best prospect we got out of the Machado trade is surprising.
Right.
But I mean, from that perspective, Dean Kramer has been better than I think people thought he would be. So from that perspective, the deal's better. But I don't understand what that has to do with Zach Pop.
Yeah, I don't either. Do you did it make any sense to you why Cody Sedlock wasn't taken? Were you surprised to see him exposed and out there?
No, Cody Sedlock's a bum. Cody Sedlock has been a bum for a while. 2 years ago or 3 years ago, his fastball went from like 96 to like 89. Yeah.
All right. So that's what's going on with him is.
Yeah, it's the last 2 years ago. I keep on saying last year, but there was no minor league system last year. 2 years ago, he had a big bounce back year, but he wasn't. I don't think on many teams' radar. Though Gray Fenter wasn't supposed to be on teams' radars either. So who knows?
Right. So we grabbed Ricky Ramirez, a 24-year-old from the Twins organization, who hasn't pitched above single A or high single A, and then
I don't think that's his name, but go ahead.
I'm reading it right on the page. Ricky Ramirez.
Really? From where?
The Orioles select right-hander Ricky Ramirez from the Twins organization in the AAA phase of the Rule 5 draft. Oh, okay. It's AAA phase.
Thank you very much. Oh, my gosh. We're talking major league squad here. You're right. They got to... We lost a couple guys in the minor league side, too. The guys we got, Josh...
Was,
you want to try again?
Not
Mark, try again.
Mac.
There you go. Okay.
Max Scarola.
Yes.
That's the Ben McDonald's relative.
Nephew to Mr. Ben McDonald.
All right. And then we took right-hander Tyler Wells, who I thought we already had in the second round.
Yeah, we have Alex Wells.
Don't we have... we have Alex Wells and Tyler someone else.
Yeah. You know what's unique about Tyler Wells?
He's got a twin brother named Alex Wells.
No, the dude is... You know how tall he is?
6'8".
6'8". That's a big dude. That's like an NBA center type dude. 6'8".
All right. Yeah. I mean, that goes back.
Yeah, I mean, both starting pitchers, both haven't pitched above single A.
Yeah.
I'd rather have Zach Pop, but we will see.
I was hoping that we were going to pull out Lachlan Wells out of the draft. That is Alex Wells' brother, who's in the Twins organization.
Yeah.
That we talked about a few weeks ago.
Yeah. It's we have a lot of starting pitchers. We have a lot of like mediocre bullpen arms.
we got a lot of guys that can throw balls.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, Josh, if Mike Elias, seriously, like I'm not going all conspiracy theory here, but Zach Pop could have contributed as a back end bullpen arm. These guys are going to get shelled if they play. I'm assuming one of them will stay and one of them will go. But
last year
I think they're going to get shelled.
Two. Last year we took two and neither stayed, right?
Yeah, and the year before that we took two and one stayed.
Was that Santander?
No, I think that was Drew Jackson and Richie Martin.
All right. So Martin stayed.
Yeah.
All right. So Martin was a Rule 5 pick by Elias then.
Yes.
All right. So we've got one Rule 5. Yeah.
We keep the streak alive. And the Rule 5 was active, by the way. Some people said it'd be quiet because no off minor leagues last year and budget constraints. Rule 5 is active. I mean, everyone's picking.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, well, yeah, that was the only kind of exciting part of the virtual winter meetings. Well, like there was no, I don't know. Always the fun parts about the winter meetings are like Scott Boras holding his own press conferences and the agents fighting in the parking lot and all that other stuff that goes on that you miss out on the virtual meetings.
Yeah. I haven't even heard many rumors about big contracts or big free agents. It's been relatively quiet. I know it's quiet when I was reading. Oh my gosh, there was a signing. Ken Rosenthal announced a signing, and it was for some team in Japan or something. Was the signing, and it was like not a player from the majors who then went inside in Japan. It was like a Japanese player who re-signed in Japan. I was like, all right. The other big news out of the winter meetings, I think, kind of in all, the winter meetings sucked for the Orioles. You lose Zach Pop. And then you had the news about the
Frederick Keys.
Frederick Keys.
Yeah, it was good news for Aberdeen, and as they got a little bump up.
Yeah, Josh, do you have any thoughts on losing Frederick Keys as an Orioles affiliate? And now I guess you're going to be some draft team And Aberdeen takes their spot in the Carolina League.
Yeah, it's a sad change to baseball. It's a weird timing to come off a year with no minor league baseball and minor league teams really struggling to make it through 2020, and then to have the news that you lose a team and lose an affiliate is sad for that. I know all the teams have done this. A bunch of cut a team out. So it's sad. I really like that stadium. We got to play a few games at the Keys Stadium. Mm-hmm. I like the whole shake your keys that they do, and Quixote. I like everything they have there. I enjoyed taking the girls there.
That's where I got
when they were young.
The Dylan Golden Bundy I sent you.
Yeah, there's lots of great things there. And that all stinks, and I don't like that. I do like that the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp have moved and changed divisions, and they are now with the Marlins, and they are now a AAA affiliate for the Marlins, which I'm trying to figure out if that means the Norfolk Tide will come down and play in Jacksonville. And I'd be excited about that.
Yeah. Okay.
But I don't know. I mean, what are your thoughts on the Keys? It sucks. I understand it's part of baseball. It's this whole business side of baseball that we never like to talk about. But it's been rumored for a while, and it seems like as soon as the rumors came out, the immediate team was the Frederick Keys. Like I never heard a rumor that the Shorebirds would go away, even though the Shorebirds Stadium sucks.
Yeah.
So it's always been the Keys.
Yeah, I mean, the Shorebirds right now is closest to me, so I would hate to see them go. But I got a chance to visit 2 years ago every minor league stadium except for the Aberdeen Ironbirds.
What about Norfolk?
Oh, or Norfolk, yeah. Norfolk. It's even a different state.
Norfolk's the one. I've been to all of them except Norfolk, I think.
But based on what we saw last year with Mike Elias and the Bowie Bay Sox, I wonder, like, if Mike Elias had his way, would he be like done with all the minor league teams? Like, would he be just like, just give me a facility to train my players? I don't need them to be playing in 115 games every year. So I wonder, like, I know they're talking about having another Gulf Coast League, which I consider to be kind of this training facility down in Sarasota. Yeah. And so I think Mike Elias is more into training and developing as opposed to playing in games. So I think Mike Elias is okay with this.
Yeah.
I think he'd be okay with even less teams, to be honest. I think it sucks. I mean, we were friends with Jeff Arnold, who I know recently moved to Orioles, but was a long time with Frederick Keys.
Got out just in time.
Yeah, like there's a lot of just like great baseball people involved in those minor league teams. You feel bad for them. I would go to a few games every year there.
Went and saw Manny there.
Yeah. So it's I think it's unfortunate, but I'm also grateful that we still have the Shorebirds, the Ironbirds, not really Norfolk, but Bowie. Right. I'm still grateful for all those other, like, it's kind of cool baseball that we have these minor league teams. Missing one sucks, but personally, it's not going to have a huge impact on my life or on the Orioles team as a organization.
Right, and we've had this conversation before about you don't see minor leagues in other sports. And what 2020 really did show was that baseball doesn't need the minor leagues. They just need a place to store extra players, whether it's Sarasota or if it's a stadium in Bowie. They just need a place for structure and practice and keep guys ready for the next season.
And last year, I mean, it's a good example because it was awkward on what do you do with all these minor league players because they're not playing, they're not working essentially. Are you obligated to still pay this army of guys you just have sitting there who are contributing nothing to your team this year? Like, it's just kind of awkward. What do you do with the salaries of minor leaguers? And like salaries, like understandably, minor league players want to make more money, and yet if you're John Angelos or Louis Angelos, you're saying this guy has next to zero chance. He's 25 years old playing in single A, has next to zero chance to make it to the majors. I'm supposed to give him more money? Why? Like, I understand their perspective as well.
Right. And I would do like
See, at 9, I understand the minor leagues get underpaid, and I understand the owner's position because I'm a 9, Josh.
right. Balance that out. And I like how the NFL handles it as you're on the practice squad or you're on the team. And there's so many people who have played a lifetime in the minor leagues and never got that call to the majors.
Yeah.
And there's something to say about football, and a guy gets drafted and you either make it or you don't. You're either ready for the big league or you're not. There's no, I'm going to hold on to this guy for 6 years, hope, and maybe he'll be ready so that I can then control his life for another 6 years.
But that's the Caleb Joseph story. Isn't that great when someone like Caleb Joseph is able to bust in the majors and now has had a nice major league career? And if the minor league system had shrunk before Caleb Joseph, he might have been, there's a good chance he would have already been done and never had this nice major league career and made a lot of money. So Caleb Joseph, Josh, would have been done skis in your version.
Yeah, that's one good story. And I would say I prefer on the other side, I like the idea of like players like Ben McDonald who got drafted and then immediately goes to the majors and pitches.
Yeah. Or Dylan Bundy, who immediately goes to the majors and pitches and then goes in the minors and is gone for 10 years with injuries and then comes back. Yeah.
Right. That story sucks. And baseball is different. The minor leagues do draw attendance.
They do.
So if you can afford to have these people develop, I understand the purpose and the need. I love the idea of this other league that Aberdeen could be in, or Frederick could be involved in, where it's like guys who other teams can claim. I like that. I almost feel like baseball should change, and players are only safe if they're on your like AAA team, kind of like the NFL does, where you can pull from other people's practice rosters if they're not on your 53-man. I kind of like that idea, and I'd like to see baseball. I'd totally be open for baseball shrinking down the minors or shrinking down some of that protection. So, like, you can't store 5 second basemen because that second baseman I might want over here in Baltimore. And I think that would be an interesting thing to do and give those minor league players more opportunities, because if I play really good, I don't have to wait until Trey Mancini moves out of my way. Right. I had any of the other 29 teams could use a first baseman.
Right, and some of that is handled with the minor league phases, the Rule 5 draft. I don't know all the rules for that.
Yes, that works. But there's still too much protection.
Yeah, I think we've talked about before how the MLB, the teams own these kids for so many years.
Yeah, modern slavery, I believe, is what they call it.
Yeah,
at least in the NFL.
I don't go that far. But the other thing, Josh, and I don't know how you can, I don't know if this even matters, if it really matters in the long term. But like, for popularity, it is true. Like, I will take my son Silas to maybe 2 or 3 or 4 Oriole games a year. I'll take him to twice, triple that at the minors because it's just easier to take kids to minor league games.
Yes.
And I think that's when, like,
but
that's
why?
Much more family friendly. That's a way to instill like a love of baseball in these kids. Because baseball is one of those things that you enjoy it more when you go there and see it in person.
And the players are more accessible.
Yes. And it's just, there's more activities. So it's like, it just feels fun and not boring like baseball really is. And so, like, I wonder if, you're going to lose some of that stuff as you lose these minor league teams and lose some of the popularity. Maybe not immediately, but 5-10 years as these kids growing up, not going to the minor league games.
I understand that. You're never going to see the cowboy monkey rodeo at Camden Yards.
You're not.
That'll always be a minor league thing. And minor leagues,
there's no spam
I understand
night
that.
at Camden Yards.
Totally.
I mean,
there should
night.
be.
Scrapple night.
There's Scrapple's Baltimore. There should be. But you will get hey, we didn't even talk about promotions. Maybe we'll do that next week. We'll rank some of the promotions for this year.
Oh,
I know you love going through the promotions.
Joy. We'll have to bring Bert back for that one, yeah.
All right. We haven't had Bert in a while. We'll bring him back for that. But I also wonder how you market minor leagues in this modern, flashy Fortnite world that all the kids are growing up in. And I know the minor leagues are adjusting to that, and I know they're finding ways to do that. And they're doing a much better job at aiming at those kids and family events than the majors are. The Orioles made a great initiative with the Kids Watch Free thing, and that's great. And I imagine they'll bring that back next year. But you're right. Nothing makes it as easy as bringing a kid to a minor league game. There's no pressure. Your kid can run around. Your kid can be on the moon bounce the whole time. It doesn't matter because the baseball game's right there.
You can see it from the moon bounce.
And you can watch it from the moon bounce. Yeah. So it doesn't bother you. Your kid can be a brat. Everyone at the stadium's okay with it because they understand you are getting that kid. The more Silas is around baseball, eventually he'll start paying attention and love it, the game, just like you do.
Yeah. Camden Yards, he's going to want to get him and walk around, but the second you leave the concourse, you can't see a freaking thing that happen in the game.
Exactly.
And not to mention the cost is just a lot cheaper to take it to a minor league game.
Right.
So, yeah. All right. But again, Frederick is gone, but I still have Delmarva will go to, Bowie will go to, Aberdeen, not Norfolk.
Right.
But we still have these other places to go to. So it's not like, that experience is gone now. Just the Frederick experience is gone. Now, if I lived in Frederick, I would be more upset.
Yes. If I was in... all right. I have trouble relating to these Oriole fans because they're not really Oriole fans. They're like Bowie Bay Sox fans or Frederick Keys fans.
Yeah. There's a lot of fans like that, yeah.
And they cheer for that minor league team.
Yeah.
And they don't really care when Manny Machado goes up to the Orioles. They're cheering for him because he's a Bay Sox.
Yeah. You can't relate to that?
I can't relate to that at all.
I can totally relate to that. Josh,
why?
Because here are players playing, making no money. Like, here are the players doing what we always said they should, like playing for the love of the game.
Okay.
You got 25-year-olds who are still struggling at Bowie, 27-year-olds still struggling at Bowie for their one shot, making next to nothing, having to work summer jobs or having to work off-season jobs to get by. Like, I think there's, like, baseball, there's some purity to baseball at the minor league level that gets lost at the major league level.
But I can't watch a player without hoping that he gets to the majors and helps the Orioles.
Yeah. I mean, I'm with you. Like a 28-year-old at bat, I'm not, and at single A, I'm not watching that at bat. Like, tell me when Rutschman's up, and I'll sit down and watch it.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. Though I get the appeal of minor leagues, but again, I'm a 9.
Right. Try to make everyone happy. It sucks for the Keys to go away, and especially for those guys who have been Keys fans for years. But I understand the business side.
Yeah.
And I do think there's too many minor league teams. I've always said there's too many minor league teams for the Orioles. When there's high A, I've always been confused. Why do we have high A, single A? And it's all because they wanted another level of baseball. And it's, we can't go any lower than A. So I guess we're going to make high A and low A.
Yeah.
And that doesn't even count the Gulf Coast leagues and the international leagues.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like what you want is not just games to play in, but you want coaching time. And so I think that's why they added the Gulf Coast team, because they're still, like, the Orioles are not getting rid of a ton of players. In fact, they're going to have their most active international free agent signing period ever, I think, according to Mike Elias. And so there's going to be an influx of those type of players this year and next year and for years to come. And so you need some place for those players to go. And I think the Gulf Coast League is a good kind of first stopping point where you can actually do more coaching when you're dealing with a bunch of 18, 19, and 20-year-olds. You can do more coaching and less playing of games there, hopefully. I think that's the plan.
Yeah, I hope so. And again, that more focus on coaching, I think we kind of saw it proved out this year.
Yeah, I think that's what the Orioles want to do. They want to be able to work with pitchers on their spin rates and work with hitters on their, whatever, contact and all that stuff with their fancy little tools they put at the end of the baseball bat.
I got that. Did I tell you? I told you I bought one of those fancy tools.
Yeah.
I got it sitting over here charging behind my desk. to make my softball bat better because I had a crappy year. Do we even want to touch
Sarasota to the Gulf Coast League?
Oh, I definitely looked up friend of the show, Patrick Jones. I was about to say Alex Jones. That's a different guy.
Yeah, he's not a friend of the show.
Patrick Jones, but he is not in Florida right now. He's doing his training somewhere in the middle of the country. Do we even want to cover Chris Davis's Zoom call that upset a bunch of Oriole fans?
No, I was actually kind of rambling on just so we could not talk about Chris Davis.
All right, because you know what? Chris Davis isn't sorry about his $160 million or whatever, and I'm not sorry either. A deal's a deal.
I'm sorry.
Move on.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
You don't care that he's single-handedly bringing down this franchise? That makes no difference to you?
I don't think he is single-handedly bringing down this franchise.
You don't think he is?
No.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine, Josh.
Are you trying to say that if Chris Davis wasn't here, Manny Machado would still be here and this team would not be rebuilding? Are you blaming the rebuild on Chris Davis?
Josh, I'm saying.
Is that what you're trying to say?
I'm saying, first of all, I have a right to boo Chris Davis every time he comes up. And even if Chris Davis hits a home run, I'm going to boo him as he runs around the bases. That contract. But no, at this point, we're rebuilding, so it doesn't really matter. But the dude's got to step aside next year, Josh. We can't do this for another year. We can do it for one more year while we rebuild. Next year, we got to move on. This is it.
No, this is his last chance.
This is not his last. I don't know what chance has to do with it. He's as far as chance-wise, he's done. He can ride the bench this year if he wants. But after this year, the Orioles got to cut him. Like at this point, at the lump, Josh, does not change if he's on the bench or if he's sitting at home. The lump for the Orioles, like the cash amount, does not change whether he's sitting at home or sitting on the bench. So why do you insist, if you're the Orioles, on having this guy sit on the bench when you could have him sitting at home and there's no difference in cost? I don't really understand that.
Because maybe he can help. Because he looked good in spring training last year.
But there's a better chance that Renato Nunez can help than can this guy help.
What type of 9 tries to send him at home?
Yeah.
I don't know, because he's a good guy and everybody likes him.
He is a good guy.
This is Chris Davis with the Baltimore Orioles, and I'm listening to Section 336.
And you want to send that guy home?
No, I can make an argument, Josh, that he has done more good with the money he was given than the Orioles would have done with if they kept that money. You know what I'm saying? Like as far as giving to charity.
Giving it away, yes.
And giving the organizations.
He definitely spent the money better.
Like Peter Angelos, I don't know what he would have spent it on, but I think the money went to a better place. Even going to Chris Davis, because he's filtered a lot of his money into these positive causes.
Yeah, I'm with you.
But people hate. It's just like
people hate. Yeah.
It's just like people, especially people with money. People hate people with money. Every time I see like the Amazon commercial there's all these education commercials about like Amazon giving money to education purposes, and every time I think about two things. I think about how Amazon has made everyone's life so much better. And then my next thought is how many people hate Jeff Bezos.
Right.
It's just
I know everyone's trying to blame this virus on Trump or China or something.
Or Bill Gates.
Or Bill Gates.
He gets blamed for the vaccine that has.
Right. We need to blame it on Bezos because he's the one who's making out like a cash cow in all of this.
Yeah.
It's because more people are doing Amazon than ever before.
Yeah,
we've got a Christmas season that everyone's going to buy everything from the internet.
Yeah, you think Bezos has like a team in his lab now coming up with other devices to keep people home from leaving their houses?
Part of it is Bezos looks like an evil villain.
He does an evil villain, and he's got the amount of money that all evil villains have. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I like when people post online. Jeff Bezos has enough money to give everyone in America $1 million. And he'll be and not lose more and not lose
and still be a billionaire or whatever. Yeah.
Still be a billionaire. But then I do the math and I'm like, that's wrong. Why are people retweeting this? It doesn't work that way.
Yeah,
you lost a few zeros in your math.
Yeah.
And then I realized Jeff Bezos deserves all this money because everyone else on the internet is stupid.
Well, forget deserves or not. Like, has Bezos made your life better?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, he has.
Uh-huh. Right. So don't be angry at Chris Davis. Think of the joy he brought you when he was hitting those dongs. The with Adderall, Chris Davis.
Yeah,
Think of the joy that brought.
That's where I was going with that he is doing a lot of good things with his money. That was my connection. But really, like at this point, it's not Chris Davis's fault, because you can talk about how he's a nice guy and all, and it's not his fault that he sucks at baseball, right? It's not really his fault. He's just like it's not my fault that I'm a terrible person. I'm a 9. He's just as bad at baseball, and he got a big contract.
And think of all the people that the Orioles have given money to in lower amounts that has sucked even worse.
Well, not worse, because he is the worst, but have sucked, yeah.
Yeah, and think about the New York Mets, who are still paying Bobby Bonilla.
Well, yeah, and we'll be paying Chris Davis 50 years from now. But Josh,
yeah, but it's still not as bad as that Mets deal.
Oh, it's worse. But and I'm okay with it now because we're in rebuilding, so it doesn't really matter. But it's gonna matter.
Yeah, sure, maybe. Who knows?
I mean, I don't really understand myself.
I mean, it's the other thing is it's the problem is the Chris Davis move. The whole candle was blown out, and then Peter Angelos comes and works out the deal on his own without Dan Duquette.
Yeah,
it's like I can't even be upset with that because Chris Davis is not going to say no to $160 million.
Right, like the agent did his job.
Who am I supposed to be mad at? The agent did his job. Davis did his job. Davis showed that he was worth the gamble, and it failed. The agent got as much money. I do not believe that there was someone else interested. I think Scott Boras made that up.
The Tigers, maybe, but yeah.
Yeah, which is the agent's role and what the agent's supposed to do. I can't get mad at anyone at the Orioles organization because they didn't make the deal. Yeah. Peter Angelos made this deal on his own.
Yeah, I mean, the only person you can be mad at is Chris Davis for being bad. And also for not, I don't think Chris Davis has made a sincere effort.
I agree.
To make adjustments when he's had opportunities to make adjustments.
Yes, that's the negative thing I'll give it to Chris Davis is he apparently does not feel the pressure, and I think that's why people got upset with him on this interview, is he has not felt the pressure of, I need to make sure I'm worth what I'm getting paid. Because all of us have jobs. Well, you're a teacher, so you can do whatever you want, and they'll still pay you. But if I don't live up to my price tag, my boss is going to fire me.
Josh, I've never had tenure, okay? I can be fired at any moment.
Oh, you don't have tenure yet?
Never have had tenure in my life.
All right. No. Yeah. All right. Well, all right. Same thing. If we don't earn our keep, our boss can fire us.
Right.
Chris Davis is making more money than we will ever sniff, and it doesn't matter what he does. And somehow,
it's a good gig.
I would like to think... I wish you gave me a heads up on the Enneagram so we could figure out the Enneagram of Chris Davis.
Yeah, we need to.
Because I like to think that I'm a better person than that I would feel bad, and that I would be working all off season, and I would be calling in hypnotists and therapists and psychoanalysis people and baseball people and anyone I can to try to figure out what's wrong with me.
Yeah, he might.
Dietitians, I would be doing it all.
But he might be like me. He might be a 9 and like a whale, just kind of going along with it.
Right.
But yeah, we need. Yeah. You know what? I wonder if Mike Elias. I bet you could. If you're a general manager of a baseball team, I bet there's a personality number, an Enneagram number that you want to have on your team. Especially if you're signing a big contract for him. I don't know if Mike Elias wants to hire me as his Enneagram expert to sort through personality types,
right,
to say who's worth the money, because who will improve and get better, even if they're given a large sum of money. But Mike Elias, if you're listening, I'm up for that job.
Yeah. Now, do you think Chris Davis will have any motivation with pressure of Trey Mancini coming back and Mountcastle and some other first basemen on this team?
Listen, if he didn't have motivation the last year, the year before that, I don't see any difference now. Right?
Yeah.
I don't see any change. Like, maybe he'll lift some even more weights. I wonder if Mike Elias has thought about, you saw what happened to Robinson Cano. He was suspended for the year because of steroids.
Yes.
And they don't have to pay him.
Right. Davis.
If you can slip something in Davis's drink where you don't have to pay him for a year, make him go away.
Davis, this is a great way that you can get out of it. You've already got enough money. You get busted for steroids, and we'll all say, oh, we understand. He was trying to come back. He took the steroids because he needed to do something to get back.
Yeah.
Then we'll all feel bad for you. You'll slip away, and we can all move on.
That's
way better than saying, here, take all your money back.
For the first time in history, taking steroids could improve a guy's reputation. That's pretty wild.
Yeah, that's a weird one.
But
Davis, think about it. Consider it.
He's always, at least I feel like, mentioned retirement, except for this offseason. He hasn't even talked about it. I would like to see. How come they just can't cut a deal, Josh? How come they can't say, okay, Chris, we're going to keep $10 million, okay, of your contract, of your $1 billion contract. You keep the rest. Just go away. Like, I would think that you could make a deal like that at this point.
Yeah, I think it's because Davis isn't ready to give away.
But it's embarrassing for Davis. Doesn't he see that? It's embarrassing for him?
Well, I think Davis, all right, if I was Chris Davis, and as I am the Chris Davis apologist on the show.
Yeah, you've been embarrassing as a player.
I would say that I came into spring training last year looking really good. The COVID delay and stuff really hurt me because I kept working out, and I ended up hurting myself.
Arms.
Yeah. I was looking really good.
Basically looking good, yeah.
The beard is working for me. The fact that I can rock the beard now and not have to shave right before spring training works.
Yeah.
I was doing really good, and I got hurt. I really hurt my knee and my hip this past season. That really screwed me. I've been spending this off season trying to get healthy like everyone else. And I'm going to come to spring training and give it one more try because I still enjoy playing baseball.
Okay. I'm going to put the over-under at 10 starts for Chris Davis this year. 10
and
starts.
you know when it's time for when it's the bold prediction time. You know when my bold prediction is going to be the same that it's been every couple years.
Yeah, and I'm going to make fun of you and I've been right every time. You've been wrong every time.
At some point, though, he's got to be the comeback player of the year.
No, at some point he does not have to be. There's no rule saying that Chris Davis has to be the comeback player of the year.
Time now for bold predictions.
You know, I put a new button in the soundboard for you, and then it kind of got ruined because the guy got hurt yesterday. But I knew that you were going to like.
Next up, Trace McSorley. Trace McSorley. They call me Trace McSorley. I went out to the bar and I woke up in a sorority.
I knew you really liked that song, so I loaded it up.
McSorley.
I loaded it up when Lamar went down with the COVID, and then Lamar came back and played, so we got no Trace. We got some Trace yesterday, and Trace even looked okay out back there for a little bit.
Yeah, I
and
mean,
now
if he could have a wide receiver who could catch the ball, he would be even better. But yeah, I love Trace McSorley. I hope he sticks around.
Do you like Trace McSorley as a backup, or do you think they should use him more in a little tight end wide receiver position, like the guy in New Orleans?
Taysom Hill?
Yeah, Taysom Hill.
No, McSorley is just a little dweeby guy who's not good enough to be a starter. He's just, I like his personality, so he's the perfect backup.
But wouldn't you like to see some type of trickery or something with Trace?
No.
Somehow we get him in the game?
No, he's no good. He's a bum.
Because I don't feel confident with him as a backup.
But that's the thing, though. That's what I want in a backup. If my
no pressure on the starter.
If my starting quarterback, if Lamar Jackson is hurt like after the season, I want to tank the season, and I just want to be entertained. And Trace McSorley will tank and be entertaining while he tanks. So that's exactly what I want in a backup quarterback.
So you're saying that you don't want to be like the Cowboys who have a nice, reliable quarterback when their quarterback goes down.
Yeah.
You want trash back there.
Yeah,
you want a trash backup.
Yeah, Andy Dalton's going to win them, like 6 or 7 games and cost them a top draft pick.
Yep, and Alex Smith is doing well with the Redskins. And Colt McCoy looks better for the Giants when he goes in versus whoever they crowned as the next. Daniel Jones,
Yeah.
So, but down here in Jacksonville, they're going back to Minshew this week against the Colts.
You can't keep track of who the quarterback is for Jacksonville anymore.
No, they can't.
I was watching the day Jacksonville. They had the other guy in, And then at one point, like, they shared the stats of Minshew versus the other guy, and you're like, why is the other guy starting when Minshew is healthy? That made no sense to me.
Because they don't see Minshew as the future, but I'm telling you, it's too bad that this game is being played in Baltimore because people down here love Minshew. There is Minshew Mania stickers on all the cars. And I feel so bad. This is like if we all got excited for Kyle Bowler. It's what it is.
Is part of you rooting for Minshew to knock off the Ravens? Just because some people go berserk in Jacksonville?
People... No. But, that's a good point. I should try to get together with some friends to watch the game on Sunday. Some guys down here.
Yeah, they can bust out their Minshew jerseys. You can wear
with some Minshew jerseys. Yeah, a bunch of guys down here have the big TV in the garage, so we're outside watching the game.
Well, we got a couple of Jaguars on our team now, too.
Yes.
And Campbell and Njoku.
Yeah, and I wired up a house for one of the Jags cornerbacks. And I'm blanking on his name right now. Yeah. But I saw him a few weeks ago.
No one recognizes his name anyway.
Nah, and I asked him, he saw me a few weeks ago, and he goes, yeah, we got to go to Baltimore right before Christmas. He goes, does it get cold in Baltimore? I'm like, yeah, compared to Jacksonville, yes. And now you're calling for snow on Wednesday. So it'll be fun. I hope it continues to stay cold, and all those Jacksonville guys come out and freeze their butts off on Sunday.
Yep. Should be a fun game.
It's weird that the Ravens play on a Sunday.
Yeah.
Can't remember the last time we had a Sunday game.
Well, this is a weird NFL week where we got Thursday games and Saturday games and Sunday games.
Oh, do Saturday games start up this week?
There's like a 4 o'clock and an 8 o'clock game on Saturday.
All right. Well, that's exciting. Can't wait.
Clearly, you haven't been checking your fantasy roster for when games are playing.
Oh, my fantasy roster is all set up. As we got 3 Sorokas in the playoffs this year.
They just announced today that Christian McCaffrey's doubtful again. That's great news for me. What a bum he is. My team's looking okay going into this. I've been riding Taysom Hill, and I guess Drew Brees is not going to play again this week. Oh, I thought he was going to play this week.
I don't know. I saw that on my fantasy stats. His projection went from 2 points to 19 points.
Oh, I thought this was the circled return week for Drew Brees, but maybe that's changed. All right, boys and girls.
Yep.
Thanks for listening to another edition of Section 336. Go ahead and leave us a 5-star review on iTunes and say some nice stuff. Maybe you can also share your Enneagram number.
Hey, and Christmas is coming up, so you might want to become a 336er and give us a present of $3.36 a month. It's not much. It's way less than you spend on anything nowadays. So going over to 336er.com or section336.com, where you can click on our Patreon, 336er.com, jump straight to it. And you can sponsor a little boy in Jacksonville and a little boy up in Queen Anne's County with $3.36 a month.
Yep, and we're just going to be this lump taking that money.
Yeah. Should we make right now? Which way do we promote this? Do we go the Chris Davis lump angle, or do we go the Compassion Child International poor kid in Africa?
No, I like the big lump angle.
All right. So if you want to
take.
Right, if you want to help out these two lumps.
Just like Chris Davis, we're not going anywhere.
Nope. What's this? This is 300-something. I think we're getting close to 400 episodes.
Yeah.
So.
And we've gone long this episode. So I can wrap it up. Follow us on Twitter.
So send us a tip.
At Section336 is my Twitter handle. You can follow Josh on Twitter.
At Josh Soroka.
Thanks for listening, boys and girls. And as always, go O's and go Ravens.
Please go to iTunes and Facebook for all complaints or the occasional compliment. If I were you, I would not take any baseball advice from these guys. Josh and Matt were raised by an Orioles-obsessed father, and Bert fell in love with Don Mattingly. He has a thing for mustaches.
Donato's just didn't add bacon to their pizzas. They added bacon to their bacon. It's Donato's new Bacon Duo pizzas. 2 pizzas, each with 2 kinds of bacon. Try the new Pepperoni Bacon Duo with pepperoni, Canadian bacon, and hardwood smoked bacon. And the Chipotle Bacon Duo with Canadian bacon and Chipotle seasoned bacon. Now get $2 off a large Bacon Duo or any large pizza. Use promo code 2. Donato's. Every piece is important.
Zenni offers prescription glasses starting at $6.95, as well as affordable sunglasses, blue blockers, and more. The best part? Try any frame, anywhere, with our 3D virtual try-on. Visit Zenni.com today and change the way you buy glasses forever.